Hey, when you think about becoming masterful at something, right? Not just good, not just, okay, but to become masterful at something, it really takes something to be able to do that. Now, to really understand what it really means to actually get to the level of mastery in the process, I want you to really walk through something. Let's go to my whiteboard here real quick. And I want to start off with just thinking a little bit about what does it take to first just even, go through a process of learning something, right? So there's a few things that we do when we're trying to learn, right? One thing we could do, we can use reading, and reading helps us to acquire information. We can also use listening, right? So we can listen to something, whether that's an audio book, listen to someone talk, train you. We can also use observing. Now, observing is another way to take in information, and all of these, right? So if we looked at all of these, let's kind of go like this here. So all of these lead to learning, right? So learning is something that can come from this. So I'm observing things, I'm listening to things, and I'm reading things. I'm taking this information in. So now, when you move from learning to actually mastery, one of the things I want you to consider in moving from learning to mastery, right? There's this thing called doing, right? Now, this is the key thing I want you to understand. So where we want to end up is we want to get here where we actually have a level of mastery at what we do. Now, sometimes where people get lost, they get lost in getting knowledge, right? The learning element of knowledge. Now, doing is also a form of learning, but to understand that it is an application of knowledge that is a deeper learning experience that moves you toward mastery. And so this is very important. So when we talk about things like reading, it is very important that we make time to read things that are going to give us information and knowledge so that we are aware and we understand what it is we're trying to do, what it is that we're trying to, gain understanding around. When we listen, right? The ability to be a listener where you can actually take in information from people. If I'm going to be taught, if someone's going to be, giving me information, they can speak to me, train me, present, coach me, consult me. It requires me to be able to listen, actually comprehend information being told to me, right? And then I can actually observe, and I can learn a lot just from, watching someone, right? I'm watching what they do. I'm watching what they don't do. And all of this is giving me information. And so a lot of times, whether you're starting a new job, whether you're doing something new, whether you're trying to master a skill, many of us have pulled up YouTube videos, trying to fix something at home, and we're trying to observe, what it is they're doing. Sometimes those videos don't even have sound, and it's just showing you kind of what you're supposed to do, and you're kind of watching, and depending on what it is, you might not need to hear it. You might not need to read anything, right? You might just observe. So we all can use our senses in different ways to take in information. This is ways of doing that. Now, but when you come down to this, right, when you really look at the whole difference in this thing called doing. Now, this is where I want to, really point out, and that's why I like to say the greatest university that we could all enroll in is Do University, right? Do University. And that is because we do not just want to be individuals that take in information and acquire knowledge and stop at that level of learning. So if we want to actually do that, right? So if we looked at, let's just say we had a learning kind of, staircase here, right? And we're trying to climb, right? And we start off with getting knowledge about something to getting to mastery. Now, when we say mastery, a good way of defining mastery is being able to doing things without use of conscious resources. In other words, I don't have to think deeply about how to do this. I don't think about blinking. I don't think about breathing. I don't think about, once you learn how to ride a bike and you're not thinking about it anymore, you just ride the bike because you've entered into a level of mastery. You don't think about, like, when I drive my car, I'm going to first put it in drive and then I'm going to use the gas pedal. And then after that, when you first learn how to drive, you're trying to remember all the rules and when to put your blinker on and how to do. But when you enter into mastery, you're not using a lot of conscious resources to do that, right? You've moved from something that you had from memory to instinct, right? So to get that way about something, the best way to climb this staircase, right, is to become a person here that is a doer, right? To actually do things. Because the reality is, when you start off with the knowledge that comes into the ground, so to speak, what we want to come up from here, right? We want to come up from here is a big tree that comes from here, right? And there's a process, when you think about it, of growth. And that growth is going to happen through doing. So if you want to become better at giving presentations, give more presentations. You want to become better at communicating, communicate more. You want to become better at building, if you want to become better at using technology, whatever that technology is, use the technology. I've seen so many people in my journey as a coach, a consultant, and as a CEO of many businesses. And I've seen the difference between people who have book knowledge and people who have certificates and degrees and people who really do that thing. And when you tell me someone that says, look, I know how to use this software, I know how to, write, code in this language, I know how to build, presentations, I am very good at being analytical, I can write, I am very good at being able to sell, right? The key is, if you take the person who's read all the books, you take the person who has all the degrees because they were good at taking tests, it doesn't mean that they're really good at actually being masterful in that particular thing if they have not done that thing enough. So the longer you wait to get in action and start to do things is the longer you wait to become a master at whatever it is you want to master. At times I'm always trying to grow more as a musician. I love trying to learn more on the piano. There's sometimes you have to learn theory and you learn about, your different elements of your scales and circle of fifth, and you learn about the blues scale versus, all of these other, chord progressions and all these things, right? You can learn about all that, but what really, bothers me sometimes is I know with my schedule, I just have to get to the piano. I have to get on it and play, right? Because there's some things that only doing will allow you to enter into mastery, right? I've given a lot of presentations. So when I give a presentation, I don't have as much fear about giving a presentation because I've given so many presentations. Now I want to be prepared, I want to have all my stuff together, but I've done so many that I'm more comfortable, right? So the more that you do something, the more comfortable you get because you are exercising and developing a mastery muscle that can only be developed by doing. And so I want to really, invite you to make sure you get out of analysis paralysis, stop overthinking, stop, continually breaking things down and building it up in your head. Stop just looking at the book. Stop listening to all the videos on YouTube. Stop just, letting everyone tell you about this better life you want, this better skill you want. You have to get into the doing. When you get into the doing, everything changes. Now, remember, it doesn't matter if it doesn't look right when you first begin. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect when you first start. It's okay to do it and let it be all messed up. It's okay for it to be, you got to have a beginning. You got to have a first. And it's okay that even after the 10th time, the 20th time, it's not where you want it to be. But if you keep on going, it is guaranteed that you will grow and you will move toward mastery. And so this is why make sure that the pathway to mastery for you is defined through goals of doing and not goals of just taking in information. And that's what this is all about. So I welcome you to Do University, and I hope that you walk across the stage and get your diploma in any particular skill or any ability that you want to develop by doing the things required to become a master at what you do. I am Michael E. Parker, and I would love for you to leave some comments here about things that you are going to do, things you want to focus on and share with one another, because we are all in this together here at URCO trying to do more, right? And that goes what we talk about with CEO. We want to charge forward, do the thing, right? And when we do the thing, we expand, and that causes us to begin able to grow. And when obstacles come up in our pursuit of growing, we overcome it. And that's why we call ourselves CEOs. I'm Michael E. Parker. Until next time, I'll see you soon.